Hey guys, it's RodimusPrimal. I'm back with another video, and today I am going to be catching you guys up on a lot of Transformers news when it comes down to Generation Selects and a lot of the Earthrise stuff that is coming. There has been a lot of releases that are pretty much like a ton of repaints. That's pretty much what it is. We've got repaints of some Earthrise characters like Sunstreaker. We have more Seekers. We have a combiner, a Takara Tomy exclusive combiner that is a repaint from the Power of the Primes toy line that is pretty prehistoric, if I will say so myself. And whether or not they are good or not is completely up to you, but I'm going to be talking about it, so sit back, relax, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and let's transform and roll out. Consider supporting the channel on Patreon, becoming a channel member, or purchasing some merch on my Teespring store today. Okay, so this first bit of Transformers news that I want to bring you guys actually came out at the same time I was preparing to get my Sunstreaker video up, and as I was getting near the end of the video, I had to add something extra, and that is that the Generation Selects Spin Out and Cordon were revealed. And if you guys saw my Sunstreaker video, you already know about that. But on top of that, Red Wing, who was previously a Target exclusive, is now getting released as he's going to be on pretty much like all channels. You can get him on things like Big Bad Toy Store and Ages 3 and Up, and a whole bunch of other channels. And he's actually a really cool seeker. After seeing I have Hotlink here. In fact, he is the only seeker I have of the Siege mold of the Seekers. I have Starscream, Earthrise, but I want Thundercracker and Skywarp. But as far as like the Decepticon Seekers are concerned, I want the Welcoming Committee. And Hotlink is one of the ones who is part of the Welcoming Committee. Red Wing is not, but it is really cool because he is pretty much like your Target Seeker. That's what you could pretty much call him. And but then again, to have more of these Cybertronian Seekers is really cool, especially to have it like as Shockwave's troops, but that's a matter of if you want the repaint or not. I have obviously had talked about Spin Out and Cordon in my Sunstreaker video, and I actually talked about their personalities, and I'm on the fence about them personally. Not many people will want them for the fact that it's just basically repaints, and I think that's why they're doing them as Generation Selects. The same thing pretty much for most of the Transformers I'm going to be showing you guys in this video, is that most of them are pretty much repaints. But the thing is if you're a fan of the old Diaclone toys, you kind of like the idea of Spin Out and Cordon being released, because you don't have to spend an arm and a leg if you wanted to get the masterpiece versions of them. And if you're a Sunstreaker fan, which I know Transformers fans like Kate, my man Kato, he would be all up on top of this, because again, it's just a pretty cool throwback to the old Diaclone toy line. And then of course, you guys know I normally don't talk about movie stuff, but I will talk about this one in particular, is the studio series Megatron. Pretty much what he is Dark of the Moon Megatron done in movie 1 colors, or G1 colors, are really kind of a cross between them, in that dark gray and black, which is a cool color scheme for him. Overall, I've never really been a fan of the Bay aesthetic, the sharded metal robot modes and things of that nature. But this is something that's really cool for people who want more of the studio series stuff. I actually think this color scheme looks better than the Mad Max one, but some people really like the Mad Max colors, like that tan color. So it's really a matter of personal preference. And he's a Universal Studios product exclusive, so I think you can only get him at Universal Studios. Now, talking about Diaclone, if you guys are not familiar with what Diaclone is, I do recommend that you go back and watch my Marvel and Transformers video, because I do go into some detailing about how that basically paved the way for us to have Transformers as we have them now. And Diaclone was one of Takara's original toy lines that they imported and that became part of the Transformers. Well, Takara Tomy is doing a Diaclone reboot, and they're doing a Battle Convoy VMAX. And to be quite honest with you, this is not like my cup of tea. Like, I'm not really a big fan of like this, it kind of reminds me of Super Sentai, Power Rangers style Transformers, but it does look really cool for somebody who wants something different. It's Optimus Prime, but it's not Optimus Prime. It's Battle Convoy kind of, and he comes with a trailer as well that can have a whole bunch of vehicles that can ride on top of it and becomes like a whole mobile command center. But the thing that I found pretty, cool about this whole toy line, I mean, look at this. It actually transforms into like multiple pieces. I guess it's like multiple vehicles, or I don't know. Like maybe it's completely modular, but they come with pilots. And this is one of the things that I had talked about in a live stream. I think it was like last week, was that I kind of have this like desire for them to come out with more, human style, figurines, either come with the Transformers or be sold as like a separate pack. And again, this is not like actually part of Transformers, but it kind of is, because I mean, I have here in my hands, it's Master Chief. The size, his scaling is actually would work with Earthrise, and I'm wondering if these scaling for these figurines would actually work, because what I would like to see is some of the human cast made as figurines like this to come along with the Transformers toys, or again be sold separately. So I'd like to see Spike and Daniel and Carly, both as kids and adults. Give us Chip in a wheelchair. Give us, Sparkplug. Give us Dr. Arkaville. Give us, even some of the human characters from the Unicron trilogy. Although I'm not really a fan of, of many of them, outside of Kicker. Kicker was the only one who actually got a human figure, and it was a G.I. Joe scaled, toy. But to have smaller figurines that actually scale with, the Diaclone stuff, that would be really cool, But this kind of whole battle set looks really neat if you want to see something different and see like that they're going with that, I guess, original story. The Waruders, maybe the alien invaders, are still coming back, and so they're bringing this like whole Diaclone storyline back, obviously for Japanese audiences, and it's a whole mobile command fortress. And Takara Tomy has also shown us some official stock images of the Netflix War for Cybertron trilogy toys, and which they all are going to be repaints, but in this particular instance, some of them I'm excited for and some of them I'm not. Optimus Prime, not so much. I have Siege Optimus, and yes, I do need to do a review on him if you guys really want to see me do a review on him, but you can kind of see the differences there. The blue is different. It's a darker blue. They colored the inside of the legs that are gray on this one to be dark blue, but it's still, my main issue is that face itself. He's got blue eyes, but the face is blue, and it should be gray. But still, this one looks to be a little bit different, and it also comes with two Battle Masters colored to be like his battle axe and a shield. So, it's not really my thing. The biggest one that everybody wants, and the one that I had complained about him having yellow eyes, it seems that the Netflix version will have red eyes. I want this toy. I straight up, I want this toy. I hope that they have enough stock of this thing. I hope, because he comes with a recolored Laserbeak, and it's remolded as well, and a remolded Ravage as well. So I want this set. I want this set bad. They have to figure out a way to make sure that enough people are able to get this Soundwave. And I know he's selling out like crazy, and nobody wants to pay scalper prices. They want them like on the shelves. They want people to be able to get them. That's what fans want. They want to be able to get this particular Soundwave, because finally, a in scale, not too bulky G1 styled Soundwave. Now, I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's you know, why do they have to go back to that whole, you know, cassette player thing, which it's kind of funny that like his buttons there on the back, the ones that are actually for his alt mode, and he does turn into his old cassette player. I want to see Blaster remolded to come out of this, but I also want to see Double Dealer made as Machine Wars Soundwave. That would be really, really cool. Something different, and would give us something that, like, you know, fans are like, you know, why do they always have to give us the G1 stuff? Well, they can give us new stuff too, but let's think about a smart way about going about doing it. Like, you know, a lot of people want this Soundwave. You know, I wouldn't mind seeing an updated Soundwave as well. I like the idea of a cassette player. You know, in addition to that, I also like the idea of, like, maybe that missile truck that he was in Machine Wars, or maybe, who knows, a news van in the future. Who knows what kind of future they'll do for Soundwave, but I really want this toy. And now for something that I don't know how many fans really want this, but it is a good opportunity for people who missed out on getting him the first time, and it's even better opportunity for people who want him in G1 cartoon accurate colors, is Power of the Prime's Dinobots, who merged to form Volcanicus. He's going to be on his Generation Selects, you know, for US markets, but it's a Takara Tomy Mall exclusive. You know, it's a 5-pack of all G1 Dinobots done in cartoon accurate colors. So if you missed out on it, or you really don't like the paint schemes that they used for the Power of the Prime's toys, which I really don't, and I don't like the fact that he's a floppy mess, you can get your hands on this Dinobot set, and it looks really good. It looks good. That's the thing, though. It looks good. But those of us who have the original toys know it's not that good. And again, it looks great. The paint colors, you know, it all looks fantastic. Finally, a cartoon accurate version of the Dinobots, especially for people who wanted something out of the Unite Warriors toy line to finish up with the Dinobots. Now we're going to get something that finishes that aesthetic. But I mean, you look at Grimlock. You know, his T-Rex mode is terrible. Absolutely terrible. Those legs are horrid. You know, and the thing is that all of them are marred by the gimmick of the fact that they merged to form Volcanicus. Now, I am not a fan of Volcanicus. He comes with brand new hands, brand new feet, and brand new swords, and brand new blasters. That's great, but those of us, again, who know, he's a floppy mess. You know, the legs just don't hold together right. The shoulders are just, that midsection just doesn't hold together at all well. I'm hoping that they do something about these joints, because this is like one of the worst iterations of the Dinobots ever. And I don't like the combiner. I don't like the Dinobots being a combiner, but they look good. So I'm torn. You know, Grimlock finally comes with weapons. He didn't come with weapons. He's got paint on his legs instead of those horrid stickers. It's a nice, clear plastic, gold look, blue visor, you know, red waist. It's like a much more vibrant, you know, silver paint. Like, it's a really, really nice looking set if you like the molding of the toys. He's $200 though. So if you want to spend $200 and you want to get Volcanicus, go for it. Straight up, go for it. I might just sell my Power of the Primes molds. I don't like them. I really, really don't like them. But if it's the only way that we're going to get Dinobots, if we're not going to get Dinobots in Kingdom, and we're not going to get Dinobots, you know, come after the War for Cybertron trilogy is over, then this is an opportunity for you to be able to get the Dinobots outside of that. But be forewarned, if you like the mold, go for it, straight up. And if you want to spend the money, go for it. I'm not going to tell you not how to spend your money, but I don't care for Volcanicus, and I don't care for the Power of the Primes mold of the Dinobots, even though I'm a big fan of the Dinobots. What is cool is there is storyline for him. The manga has been published, and you can see it in Japanese. Basically, it kind of shows how the Dinobots become combiners, or they already end up becoming combiners, while Optimus becomes Star Convoy. There's Primus, it's not Rodimus Prime. There's Super Megatron and all of the Siege and Earthrise toys. So they're all getting upgraded into them. I'm guessing Rung is just one of the Battle Masters. He's not who he was in the IDW comics. And there's a whole bunch of extras that you see, like Optimus with a cape. So this clearly has to do with, like, old school G1. There's Carly and I guess Spike as they're older, and the Dinobots face off against the Alicons. The Quintessons show up. Predaking shows up. And then take a look at this. Grimstone, or I think he's called something else in Japan, is the Dinobot Power Core Combiner, where it's just basically him with a bunch of dinosaur drones becomes, a combiner, so to speak, helps out the Dinobots, and then they become Volcanicus. And look at this, Grimlock with wings, and they face off against Predaking. So it's a really cool story so that it sells the toys, but I'll be quite honest with you, again, I'm not a fan of the mold, and I'm not a fan of the Dinobots becoming combiners, but it is cool that they're trying to give a storyline to go behind it. Now, another thing that I was not really a big fan of myself either was the Shattered Glass universe. However, a lot of people really dug Shattered Glass. It's a BotCon thing. It is a convention exclusive thing. Shattered Glass is like the mirror universe, like the evil Autobots versus the heroic Decepticons. And that is the whole idea behind it. And so what they are doing now is they're giving us yet another repaint of Optimus and Ratchet as repaints. And they're Shattered Glass. So if you really want the Shattered Glass mold, personally myself, I want the alternate universe Dead Optimus. I'd rather have that over Shattered Glass. I'd rather have Nemesis Prime over this. But for people who are big fans of, the Shattered Glass universe, this is your ticket. This is, this is it. You'll finally be able to get Shattered Glass Optimus and Shattered Glass Ratchet. And I like the fact that he's got gray molding and gray, wheels, because the Earthrise Ratchet that comes with Lifeline is different. And this Ratchet is psychotic. He'll actually, you come in with an injured hand, he'll just slice your hand off and give you a weapon. He's just, merciless. And this Optimus could, best some of the best of, Optimus Primes and Nemesis Primes out there. So if you want to get your hands on him, go for it. But again, it's not my thing. I was disappointed myself with Earthrise Ratchet in color scheme. And I want to actually bring this up because PIS on Twitter, or Ed Peary on Twitter, posted this Digibash of Ratchet, one in toy accurate colors, one in Marvel Comics accurate colors, and one in cartoon accurate colors. I wanted this out of Ratchet, and I would rather have this with people being able to just paint the helmet red, because it's easier to paint the helmet red than it is to paint a red helmet white. So that's what I kind of wanted. And so Earthrise Ratchet, I was disappointed in the color scheme. I was not but what I was more disappointed on was the review that I saw of someone reviewing Earthrise Ratchet who got it early and didn't like the fact that it was a repaint. Now, Ratchet was always a repaint. He was, that's who he was. What's wrong with that? Do you not understand who the character is? Or are you not a Transformers fan? You're not a Transformers fan, then you don't know your Transformers history. What are you doing reviewing the toys and then complaining about the fact that it's a repaint? Maybe someone should stop you from getting so many exclusives. But what I would like to see personally is, I don't like the fact they used the Siege tires, and I don't like the fact that they used the Siege feet. And so I'm going to point out on TFW 2005, Robots 78 on TFW is actually made a 3D print model of a two-piece tire that he's 3D printed for Earth mode Ironhide and Ratchet, and he's probably going to put them in both Ironhide and Ratchet. I like this. I hope Non-F or TF Safari does something and gives us high quality versions of of tires for Ironhide and Ratchet, but on top of that, also gives us something to replace those feet because it doesn't work well with the Earth mode. But that's just my own personal take, you know. Like it's me wanting something better out of what they're already giving us. It's not so much that it's a repaint. It's not so much that it's a remold. It's like, if you're gonna go in, go all in. Give us something more. Give us new tires. Give us new feet. You know, replace parts where you need to. You went all out with Optimus. How come you guys couldn't go out with Ironhide and Ratchet? Why does Ironhide and Ratchet feel like second fiddle? In fact, making it so that it's hard to get Ironhide and Ratchet has really ticked off a lot of fans, because there are people who are big fans of those characters, and they want to be able to get their hands on those toys. And the Generation Selects toys are hard to get for a lot of fans. You know, it's it's something that, like, a lot of these Generation Selects are coming out, and just people are having a hard time getting them. And I'm hoping that people outside of the US are able to get them from third-party vendors and not costing too much of an arm and a leg above what they're already selling, so that they can import them to their country. And I hope that Hasbro does more for Kingdom and gives us, like, better paint schemes and better paint apps, where we don't have to spend like an extra $25-50 just to, like, make the toy look like what we want to. I mean, I just got done painting him, but here is my Earthrise Cliffjumper, and I've just finished painting him. I'm waiting for the paint to cure before I show him off and transform him. And I am going to show pictures of him on my Instagram and my Facebook, so you guys can see what he looks like. But he's a cartoon accurate, you know, Cliffjumper now with Toy Hacks labels. So, I mean, the fact that I had to do that, you know, is kind of one of the things where, like, are you doing new things or not? But I also hear from fans that are like, but I want to see some stuff from, like, the Unicron trilogy, and I want to see some stuff from, you know, this one or that one, the series that I liked. And I kind of want to see some of those characters too. It's the whole reason why I did a top 5, you know, non-G1 characters that I would like to see. I mean, I would love to see Demolisher. I want to see, I mean, we are getting Dinobot, but I want to see Tidal Wave. I want to see, you know, Lugnut. I want to see Shadow Striker. I want to see Slipstream. And I want them done in the Earthrise style quality. I want a G1 aesthetic given to those characters, you know, for, like, Earthrise. I want to see that. Why? Because I want to be able to, like, be a G1 fan and be able to enjoy some of the new characters with the new fans, and have it be able to be integrated into a modern day Transformers universe. And it's kind of one of the reasons why I am not a big fan of the constant reboots. I want to see something that comes after G1, you know? It's just my own personal take. So this is just me rambling at this point. But, you know, I honestly feel that, you know, like a lot of Transformers fans want to see something more than just yet another repaint. They want to see new characters brought into the toy line that can be added to the G1 mythos. And newer fans want some of the love for those characters as well. And I want to see that integration just as much, so that old fans and new fans can come together and enjoy stuff. The only time you really can't do that is with Bayformers, because just the aesthetic just doesn't work. That's why Barricade and characters like Barricade and Blackout, you know, can be done in a G1 style and have it work, and have G1 fans embrace those characters in a G1 style mythos, but not in the Bayformers aesthetic. It's just, they don't clash well together. So, but I want to know what you guys think about all this Transformers news. I know as I ranted on a little bit towards the end here, but I wanted to give you guys my thoughts about all of these repaints and how I feel about them. As much as I'm excited for some of the toys and not excited for others, I'm sure a lot of you guys are, you know, have your different opinions, and I want to hear about them. So leave them in your thoughts in the comment section below. Be sure to thumbs up this video and subscribe. Check out my other videos as well. Be sure to support the channel on Patreon or become a channel member. It really does help the channel so much. I can't begin to thank so many of you guys for helping support the channel. I have more toy reviews, Transformers discussions, and news coming down the pipeline. So stay tuned for all of that. And as always, guys, until next time, till all are one.